Back to Young at Heart. We have a familiar face sitting here. You should all recognize Shane, who is one of our co-hosts, but he's going to talk to us today about his computer business.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about your business. First of all, what's the name of your business?
The name of the business is Let's Talk Graphics.
Let's Talk Graphics.
Yep. And the website is aptly named letstalkgraphics.com, spelled exactly the way it should be.
Okay, and how many years have you been doing this?
Let's see, I've been in business since 2008. I've been professionally working with computers since I was about 18, so that's, what, 30 some odd years?
No, you don't have to tell us, Shane.
A long time.
A long time.
A long time.
Well, and how long have you been in Pahrump? You haven't been here that long, have you?
Actually, I moved into Pahrump in 1999.
Oh, so did I.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're almost, that makes us natives, right?
No wonder we're hosting together. So, you know, I have a question for you, though. A lot of people are getting these calls on the phone. I know I've gotten a couple of them. They call and they say they're calling from MSN or one of the computer sites, and you have a problem with your computer. Will you go turn on your computer and I will help you fix it? What is that all about?
All right, so a little bit of background information here as to why she's asking me this question. For nearly 2.5 decades, I was working in the computer security industry,
Right.
mainly as an antivirus researcher, but also researching the scams, which is what we're talking about right now, and all of the other darker areas of the web. What you're asking about right now is it's something called profiling. People will try to get in touch with you. They'll try to literally, sometimes they'll actually try to target a specific person.
Right. Okay.
And what they're doing is they're just trying to gather information about you. It might just seem insignificant, but let's say that 5 different people over the course of 6 months or a year call you asking for these little tiny pieces of insignificant information. All of that adds up to a pretty complete profile of who you are, what you do, maybe some personal
all these little
information.
tidbits are strung together.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, I know I have a friend who actually followed through on that, went to her computer, did all the things they asked her to. $300 later, she was taking her computer somewhere else. Of course, she didn't know you at the time. Well, what kind of precautions can people take?
First and foremost, these calls that come in, they're probably going to, like you said, go to your computer, please go to a site xyz.com.
Right.
And that website that they're sending you to is going to be a site that hosts malware. As soon as you visit that site, the malware is served to your PC, and more than likely that piece of malware is a keylogger, which is then going to record every single keystroke that you enter into your computer.
Oh, okay.
Passwords, logins, everything like that.
Every little piece of information about you.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's a lot of seniors out there that really their only means of communication would be via computer, one of the social networking sites. Do you teach this type of thing?
I can train people on how to use Facebook, how to get account logins set up, Twitter, YouTube, things like that, yeah.
You know what I think we need to set up a little place where seniors can go, like a little hub, you know, those little coffee shops they have, just a little place where some of the seniors can go and kind of socialize and learn how to do this, and so that when they're home they have at least some access. Because you find these homebound seniors that, I mean, sometimes they have little things that, you know, that are wrong. They don't pick up the phone. Maybe if they're on one of these sites, they can relay that, and you can pick up some tidbits of information. Sometimes they give you hints as to something that's going on when you're talking to them. So maybe that's another avenue for you.
Well, I do make house calls.
Right, okay.
As far as my business is concerned, and I've also been throwing around the idea, actually quite some time now, of hosting an event up at the Chamber office.
Oh, really?
Chamber office.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Chamber has their conference room, and being a Chamber member myself, and wanting to, you know, kind of market my business a little bit, quite frankly, it might be a good idea to hold something regarding computer security.
Well, and that's a good place to do it too. It's a pretty central location, so that would be a great idea. Well, before I forget, Shane, how do people get in touch with you if they want any computer information?
By phone, by email, by website. The phone number is area code 775-513-1402. You could email me at Shane, that's S-H-A-N-E, at letstalkgraphics.com. And then just for my website, www.letstalkgraphics.com.
Shane at Let's Talk Graphics. Oh,
Right.
that's a neat name. Now I have another
Thanks.
question. As a grandmother, I have my little grandkids that come over. They want to use my computer. They want to use all the digital things, my phone. I have a Nook. They want to get on all these things.
Kids
And
just want to have fun.
they do. They want to have fun. And it's great. I mean, I keep up on the computer literature and all of the computer, what's going on with the computer, because it really is a generation gap, bridges that gap between the generations, I think. Because I understand a little bit of the computer language and the digital, the digital stuff out there. My grandkids love it, but the one precaution is they always want to get these games. Grandma, can I get this game? And I always say, as long as it's free, you can download the game.
Right.
Or if it's, I allow them a certain amount every time they come up. But they want to get all these games, and I understand that there's a lot of malware in those games.
Sure, sure.
So how do you protect against that?
If a child or anybody really is going to use your computer, they want to use your computer, I would recommend setting up a separate login. This is part of the operating system where you can create a new user account, make sure that the user account is set to limited functionality. That way, that user account is isolated from your main user account.
Right, okay.
So yeah, so if any piece of malware comes down into this user account, it should be isolated. It should not affect the rest of the computer, and you can always very, very quickly just delete that new user account.
Oh, okay. So it's an entire account that you want to set up.
Right.
Oh, good. So all of you who have grandkids out there, you can now let them get on there and get some of the games without being fearful.
Right.
I had another question for you. The computers, you buy a computer today, within 2 years it's basically outdated. And so how do you keep up on that? And especially you've got, again, because this is a show that caters to seniors, we've got seniors that are on fixed incomes. They can't just go out and buy a new computer every couple of years. So what's the recommendation on that?
The true lifespan of any computer, the usable lifespan of a computer, is actually about 5 years. So after 2 years, yeah, it's not the newest, latest, and greatest, but it will still work for you, unless, of course, you have some 3D CAD application that you need to have. Yeah, 5-year lifespan of the computer. After 2 to 3 years, make sure that you have that computer maintained. What I do on my computers, personally, is I will actually rebuild the operating system about once every 2 years.
Oh, and I really know how to do that, Shane.
I do. I know how to do that.
You do? Okay.
Basically,
that's
that's putting a CD in and following through with the install process. It isn't that difficult. It is time-consuming, and you do have to consider, well, maybe you have data that you want to back off.
Right.
I can do all of that.
Like everything else, it's time consuming. I have to tell you, I'm one of these people that rather than take my computer to someone to fix it, I will spend hours trying to fix it myself. And then when I can't do it, then I come to you.
Right.
But I need my computer. I also teach classes online, and so it's a very important tool for me to have to make sure that mine is up and running.
Sure.
But I look at a lot of the seniors, and some of them are so fearful of using, it used to be, again, at one time, if you touch the wrong key, you put a period instead of a comma or whatever, you could, ruin everything. But nowadays it's so user-friendly that I don't think the fear factor should be there. So how do you
It really shouldn't.
alleviate that?
Yeah, this takes me back to when I was first starting with computers at 15, 16 years old. I was fearless, and really the more that you can dig into a computer,
Right.
You're not going to hurt the computer. You're not going to break the computer. You might mess something up configuration-wise, but really what happens in the end is you end up learning something about it.
Right, right.
So don't, my advice, don't be afraid. Dig
So
in,
don't
have fun.
be afraid. Get out there and hit those buttons.
Right, exactly.
Right. So in this age of technology, though, how could you not utilize what's out there? Just go out there and do it. And
Right.
if you mess it up, there's Shane. So once again, Shane, what's the best way to reach you?
Phone, probably by phone, 775-513-1402.
Well, thank you so much. Now we've learned about the world of computers.
Thank you, Terry.
What else? Anything else you want to add before we go?
She's going to put me on the spot now. Call me.
Call
Yeah,
Shane.
call me.
Home. What is it? In-home service.
Yeah. Let's
All
talk
right.
graphics.
Let's talk graphics. Remember that, let's talk graphics. We shall be right back.